Hey there, how's it going? Seth here. In this video, I want to show you the Pebble Pricer Chrome Extension. So this is the Chrome extension right here. You can find this at retipster.com/Pebble Pricer, or I'll also have a link beneath this video if you want to check it out. And once you get this thing installed, all you have to do is go to any one of these real estate listing websites like Zillow or Redfin or land.com or landwatch.com or realtor.com. This will work on any of these sites. I'm just going to go to Zillow for this example just to show you how it works. So you start by typing in whatever market you're looking in. So in my case, let's say I've got a very specific property that I'm trying to figure out what I think it might be worth, and I'm just going to go to the market where it's at. So I'm going to go to Joshua Tree, California. And whenever you're trying to value a piece of land like this, it's helpful to get as close as possible to that property to cast a super wide net, probably too wide of a net. You could just look at the entire county, but San Bernardino County is huge. It's like one of the biggest counties in the country. So you'd probably want to get a little bit more specific than that. So I'm going here to the actual city or the incorporated area where this property is at. I could also try the zip code. I could also try that subdivision that it's in. But the idea is you just want to keep it as narrow as you can so that the properties you're looking at, the comparables, are as relevant as possible to the property that you are trying to price and put a value on. So once we've got our area, I'm going to go ahead and sort these by only the sold properties. And for the home type, we're going to only select lots in land. And then under more, we could do sold in the past 6 to 12 months. I'll go with 12 months for this. That might be a little bit more than I need to, given that there's a lot of sales comps here. So we'll go with 6 months, I guess. And then the property that I'm looking at is a 5-acre parcel. So I know exactly what the size is. And if we want the most relevant comps, we could try to look for other parcels that are exactly 5 acres. And we'll probably find several of them. But sometimes if you want to cast a wider net, you could go maybe 5 to 10 acres or maybe 5 to 20 acres, just in case you don't have enough comps to work with in that area. So we'll go ahead and do that. Looks like we've got 22 results from the past 6 months. Now, this is where it gets really cool. You go up here to this extension that we just installed, the Pebble Pricer extension, and you can click this little drop down thing, and it will show you all of the property listings, or I guess in this case, the sold listings that are shown on this page right now. And you can look at any one of these things and get a feel really quickly for what the price per acre was for that property, what the total sale price was, and how many acres it was. And one way you could do this is just click this Save All button, and that's going to add all of these properties to the pool that it's using to figure out what is the median sale price or the average sale price, just to give you an idea right off the bat what the comps are. But that's not looking too closely at what's going on here. Another way we could do this is clear all, and we're going to right click and open this up in a new window just to look at it very specifically and understand, is this actually similar to the property I'm selling or not? The property that I have is actually landlocked and there is nothing on it. There's no house or anything. So when I look at this one, for example, I see this property is clearly not landlocked and it does have a little shack on it. So right there, I don't know if this is the most appropriate comp to use. So I would go back here and simply not include that one. So I'm not going to check this thing. We can check out this other one here and see what this one's all about. So this is another 5-acre parcel, and I'm not seeing any clear parcel lines, but just looking at this alone, it looks like it probably does have road access if it's right there. And I'm not seeing any houses or improvements on that one. So I would say this is probably a halfway decent comp to include. I'm not sure how many other landlocked parcels I'm going to find in the past 6 months that actually sold in this area. So, if I do see one that does have road access, I'll just keep that in mind that, the sale price for that one is probably higher than the sale price will be for mine, simply because that property has a nice feature that mine doesn't have. But nevertheless, I can include that there. And we can check out this one too. Looks like this one also has road access because it has an actual physical address, and we can get an idea for what this one was all about. There's the road access. So yeah, I think this is a good comp for me to include as well. Now, when we look at these bigger parcels, something to just keep in mind is whenever land gets larger like this, larger parcels, you're typically going to see a lower price per acre of these properties. That's just how it generally works. So we could include this one, but just be aware, if you're trying to value a 5-acre parcel among a bunch of other 20-acre parcels, it's just not an apples to apples comparison, and you'd probably want to make some kind of adjustment just to account for the fact that all these other properties are not really the same as yours. So this one right here, a 10-acre parcel, we could check this one out too. It looks like this one does have some kind of improvements on it with like a fence and a gate. So I would want to just keep that in mind. If I decide to include this as a comp, we can add these other ones, and we'll just just be sure to check these out. Looks like this one sold for pretty cheap. So let's figure out why that is. Not exactly sure. I'm not seeing the parcel lines again, but it looks like it probably does have road access on this one. And then this other 5-acre parcel that sold for $85,000. That's pretty high. Looks like they got some great pictures. Looks like they got a fence on there. The issue with land is that it's oftentimes really difficult to find exact matches to your property. In this area of the country, it's actually easier to do it than most because there's a lot of desert squares out here and a lot of very similar cookie cutter type properties. And keep in mind, if I'm not seeing enough comps here, like if I just want more material to work with, I can just go right back over here to more and open this up to 12 months instead of 6 months. And now I'll probably have twice as many comps from which I can choose. I'll probably want to scroll all the way down the page just to make sure I'm seeing as many as possible because it's only going to pull in whatever is displaying on the page at that time. Now we can go up here and click on this, and now we've got 41 comps to choose from. Now granted, some of them are further out, and typically the further back you go in time, the less relevant they're going to be. But in my opinion, 12 months is usually not too far. If we were to go like 24, 36 months, that's getting a little far back, a little bit less relevant, sometimes a lot less relevant depending on how quickly the market is changing. But usually that 6 to 12 month range is kind of what I'm looking for. Same kind of thing. We can right click and open any one of these things to look closer at them and determine how similar they are to our subject property and if they are an appropriate comp or not. And if we decide they are, we just have to keep checking them and adding them to the list. And once we go back here, we can now see the median price, average price, median price per acre, and average price per acre for those properties. It's just a super simple thing where you don't even have to leave the website you're looking at. Like you don't have to open up a new tab or a new spreadsheet and go back and forth or anything like that. You just stay right where you're looking, and this will tell you some really helpful answers really quick. And again, it's free. So even if you don't use it all the time, it costs you nothing to just have it there ready to go. So you might as well download it if you haven't already. So thanks again for watching. If you want to check out more about Pebble and understand what Pebble has to offer as a whole, we also have an affiliate link to Pebble, retipster.com/Pebble. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.